now watching I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel.
I shot him 6 times!
You are now watching I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel.
I shot him 6 times!
Okay, everyone. Sorry about that delay for a second. For some reason, I was going through some technical difficulties or whatnot, but I'm greatly appreciative of you guys' patience. Welcome to I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel. As you know, I'm your host and creator of the channel, Marcus. If you have not done so already, please definitely shoot this stream a like. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm a ton. Try to get this stream to like 30 likes tonight. It would definitely help. As well as if you are a new viewer to this channel, please shoot that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you get all the latest content updates to the channel. And if you would like to become a member to the channel, please shoot that join button that you see on the channel dashboard. Check out the membership levels I have and pick out which level is best for you guys. Well, everybody, as you have, I'm sure, read in the thumbnail and via notification as I sent this out earlier in the week, tonight we are doing a Halloween franchise omnibus, films 1 through 3. I have two very special guests here with me tonight, aficionados of the Halloween franchise. I'm really excited to get into it and discuss these 3 films with these 2 incredible guests. So without wasting any more time, let's bring in the general first, Val Janowski. What's going on, Val?
Good evening. How you doing tonight, Marcus?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad. I'm having a great night. I've been putting in a lot of work today while I had some time. So, I have some things that I got to publish out there later. I've created a TikTok account. So I'm trying to expand here. And then our other guest that we have coming in tonight, you guys know him as Knight from the Night Watch Zone. Buddy, what is going on? I'm very grateful to have you on here tonight and discuss some Halloween.
Hey man, look, I'm glad to be here, and as soon as I start thinking about Halloween, I just get this smile on my face, you know what I mean? And it's just a great franchise to talk about, and obviously both of you guys are huge Halloween fans, and anytime I talk about it and hear you guys and have passion about it, it's like, yes, so this is going to be a blast talking about it with you guys.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to really get into it. This franchise, yeah, especially, Knight, you can attest to this as well. Val, being, younger, it doesn't matter what era you grew up on. I like to think if you watch Halloween 1978, especially if you are a fan of slashers, you have so much appreciation for this one because there's so much more to the shape character, Michael Myers' character, than just him being a slasher. They added so many layers to the character. And of course, over, the sequels, and obviously we're going to do deep dives later on here down the weeks, coming on about those other films as well. Did they go a little bit off the rails? Yeah, sure. But for the most part, Halloween has always done a good job with keeping the spirit of what Michael Myers, the essence of him, is supposed to be. And again, I'm really excited to talk about the first 3 films because obviously the third film had nothing to do with Michael Myers. And over the years, and I'd like to think maybe you guys agree, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch has actually gained a lot more appreciation. I know I appreciated it a lot more than I did when I was younger.
Me too.
So
Me too.
This is going to be a blast having a conversation about this.
Agreed.
This is going to be a great. night, guys. Like
Halloween
I'm
3.
excited. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm fresh off of just meeting Nick Castle. You know what I mean? Here talking with you guys. We have a little lag there real quick. Sorry about that. But like I was saying, fresh off of meeting Nick, I'm here tonight with you guys talking Halloween. Oh my goodness, we're lagging again.
Oh, really? Oh,
I'm going through a little bit of a lag over here, as you guys can tell. So I'm trying to see what's going on. Can you guys hear me?
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see a lag here through StreamYard.
Okay, so you guys can hear me, but for some reason on my end, yes, it's StreamYard is acting up tonight. Hasn't acted up like this in a
You,
good bit for me. I'm a little upset right now. Stop playing with me, StreamYard.
I've had that happen to me before too, man, where like on my
Okay,
StreamYard,
so
while I'm talking, it seems like it lags, but on the YouTube channel and for everyone else, it seemed like it was okay.
okay, all right, yeah, because on my end, it's definitely like lagging out and stuff like that. It's like my camera is blacking out and all that stuff. So hopefully, you know what I mean, everything is good. And I just want to make sure everything is good on my end as well. So hopefully it
Do you
calms down here in a second. This little
do you
lag
do
that
you
we
have
got from
multiple
StreamYard.
do you have multiple windows open?
No, I made sure
Oh,
all my
okay.
windows was closed. I actually just cleaned out my computer. Yeah, I
Okay.
just cleaned out my computer, or like all my like screenshots, all
Mm-hmm.
videos, all cleaned out and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
maybe it's just taking a second to process all that because of that or whatever.
Yeah.
But okay, so real quick, I do want to get to everybody's comments real quick, and then we're gonna dig in. Going on, Denisha. Oh, and real quickly, see it's lagging. See it's spinning on my end again, but I'm just gonna keep trying to talk, and hopefully you guys can hear me. But Val, Denisha, and Carrie, if you end up in the chat here, I don't know if you are, as well as Jamie Hart. I have actually upgraded you guys' moderation to managing status because you guys were standard, so I updated those.
You guys rock.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that real quick. In the chat saying, "Hey everyone, what's going on, Denisha?" See, it's spinning on my end and it's bugging me. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you know what I've had to do before is I've actually had to reboot my laptop
Jason, a nice
before to
one.
do
What's
it.
going on? And it's what you have. What did you have to like back out and leave?
I've had to do that before, yeah.
What back out and leave?
Yeah, I've had to do that before. Yeah, I've
Okay,
had to
so
reboot
honestly, I
before.
think that's what I'm gonna do. If you guys can just hold it down for me real back in, I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, man. You know we can talk about Halloween. We're taking over, Val.
All right.
The time has come. Well, let me just say, uh, obviously, for all of you guys that are here in the live chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. And anytime we can talk about Halloween is always a treat. I've been looking forward to this. So, it's just, it's funny, Val, because and hopefully I don't start talking about anything Marcus wanted to talk about, but just when I think about Halloween 78 specifically, it's just one of those movies that I can watch so many times and
Yeah.
it just doesn't get old.
No.
It
No,
just doesn't.
even when we did the watch party for 78, I still jump at those jump scare points, even though I have seen that movie hundreds and hundreds of times.
Yeah.
It still, still makes me afraid to go in that dark room,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
looking over your shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of the great things about the movie.
I totally
You
agree.
never lose that original feeling when you first saw it, and you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a comfort movie in an odd way, you know, like as soon as it comes on, it takes me back to that time period, and um it's such a it's got such great atmosphere, and it makes me think of the season of Halloween. And
Yeah.
oh man, just thinking about it, it makes me want to watch the movie like right now. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
But that's how special it is, you know. Did that help you any, Marcus?
Oh no, no, we can't hear you, Marcus.
Oh yeah. He might have it muted. Because I've had StreamYard do some really, and Val, you know it because you've
Yeah.
seen it. I've had StreamYard do some really weird things right during a live stream, and it's, you know, it is what it is. You know, the good news is that I've seen it happen on so many channels, like, and it doesn't matter what channel it is.
Right.
I've seen them all have moments of tech difficulties or whatever. So,
But even I get them like when I try to jump on, and I've had that issue before where my mic would keep moving.
mm-hmm,
So that's why I was hoping being here at work might help
mm-hmm,
that issue.
yep, yeah. It definitely makes it interesting when you live stream because you almost have to like game plan it, like, and kind of go through some of the issues. Like when he said that, the first thing I thought about was when it's happened to me and it seems like it's laggy, and I've actually had to reboot my laptop and have it like reconnect to my internet and stuff like that. And sometimes, or usually, it helps out and fixes it. So it's a lot of stuff that it could be, you know. Oh, and hey, Katie's in here too. Katie is something else, man. She just came back from work, and yeah, man. Oh, he said he's going to switch to his phone. Okay. Yep. I've
Okay.
had to do that before too. Yep. Yep. I've had to do that too. Yeah, I didn't even have this on my phone. I'll put this on my phone. That way I can kind of see too. Yep. But yeah, no, to me, it's like, especially with 78, it's definitely like comfort. And it just feels like, I don't know, man. It's hard to put it into words, but I just get this feeling of just like, whoo, you know, just so relaxed and just enjoying everything that's happening, even though, like you said, you know exactly what's going to happen.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. One thing that makes me think about too is that, you know, it was kind of like lightning in a bottle, all
Yep.
those things coming together. You know, and
If
I just,
if any one of those parts are missing, I don't think we would have gotten the movie we did.
That's a
You
good point.
know.
Yeah. So
You
many
know.
great things that were going on at the same time, whether it was Deborah Hill, you know, helping out with some of the
Right.
dialogue for the ladies, and the cinematography, the music.
Oh, the music.
Yeah, man. That
Yeah.
music, when I was a kid, it's funny because, and I think I've told this story once before, it just scared the crap out of me, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
It still scares me.
Right? It does.
Yeah.
It totally sets a certain mood, you know?
I apologize, guys. When all else
No
fails, switch to
worries.
5G.
There you go. No problem at all, man.
No.
Oh
Been
my
there, done
goodness.
it.
I appreciate you guys holding everything down.
Yeah, man. We're pros at this now.
I know
I'm
that's
getting
right.
there.
That's right.
Getting there.
All right. Now let me settle in here and stuff. Okay, so again, everyone in the chat, I apologize for the technical difficulties. I had to switch over to my phone, but we are here now, and gratefully, Knight and Val, like they said, are pros at this and have been holding it down, keeping you guys entertained. So, real quickly, what did I miss, you guys? What were you guys discussing? Hey, calm down, pups. Come here, pups. Come here. I want some attention. I see it.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Knight, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where I am in the house. At some point in the stream, the dogs are going to let you know they're here.
I know that's right, man. It
They
always
just got to
happens.
let it be known.
Yeah, it's almost like they're attracted to you giving attention to something other than them.
Yep, that is the truth. So what did I miss, you guys? Was you guys talking about Halloween '78?
Yeah, we were just talking about how just the like it's like a comfort movie, and Val made a great point that it's like lightning in the bottle, and if any of those certain moving parts weren't there, who knows what type of impact the movie might have made.
That's a really good point.
Mhm.
Another thing is, as well as if John Carpenter stays on for Halloween 2, do we get another movie with The Shape?
Mm.
What do you guys think about that, Val? I'll start with you. What do you think about that? Because we know for a fact that John didn't want to do another Michael Myers movie to keep us wondering whatever happened to him.
Right. Ooh. I don't know.
I mean, do you think? I'll ask this: do you think that at some point, given the pressure of the studio with the success of Michael Myers and Halloween, the first one, do you think that he would have folded under that pressure and just would have made a second one anyway, or would he just would have held out and just did what he did basically, and that's not do number 2?
I don't think he would have done. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think he would have. I think he was really against doing a second one because that really killed kind of his original idea for the Halloween movie. It takes away that mysteriousness about it almost, because then you have to take it in some kind of almost explanation direction, and I think he was just so against that, yeah, that's.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Knight, what do you think about that, man?
Well, it's interesting because like you said, John just wanted to make a movie, and he didn't expect this thing to go on for 45 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
And of course, back then we didn't have these horror icons. This was the beginning of it. With Michael and Jason and Freddy and Pinhead and Ghostface. You know what I mean? So it would have been interesting to see what would have happened if he had gone down that anthology route. I will say, and you guys know, I absolutely love Michael Myers. I mean, and I've enjoyed so much of this franchise beyond the OG. But just being honest, I wish I could have known what it would have been like to see him go down that anthology road. You know what I mean? Just to see the creativity that he was going to inject into that, because I think it would have been for sure. I think it would have been some good stuff. Would it have outweighed what we got, in these sequels of the franchise? I don't know. But it would have been interesting to see for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you put it that way, Knight, as much as obviously I love Michael Myers, like you said, the creativity part, because we know how creative John can be.
Yeah.
That really would have been interesting to see in a 3-part anthology. I mean, obviously he kind of went in that direction with Halloween Season of the Witch, so you got to see some of that.
Yep.
But we didn't get to see it in the second part because obviously they did another Michael Myers movie and stuff. But that's a really good point. Now another thing about '78, I think, you know, what I mean, where it really aged well, especially for me, is the entire cast.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
characters like Linda, characters like Annie, you know, that weren't really the main characters. They really grew on people over the years. You know, you even
Hmm.
see the actors even more at conventions and stuff. Even Sheriff Brackett has become a fan favorite over the years. Like, what do you guys attest that to? And I'll start off with this question with you, Knight. Oh, Val, I think Val had to cut out at this point in time because, oh, I think, yeah, because she did mention that backstage. So
Hmm.
Val's going to be out for like 10 minutes because she is at work and then she'll be cutting back in. But,
Hmm.
Knight, what do you attest that to? Do you attest that to John Carpenter's eye for talent, or do you attest that to the actors playing a role really well, or a little bit of both?
Well, I definitely say the smart money is that it's a little bit of both. I mean, I think that he picked, people that were really good for what he wanted from those characters. You know what I'm saying? And the roles were written in a way that allowed them to pop off the screen.
True.
Specifically, like with especially with Deborah Hill helping out with the dialogue for the ladies, for Linda, Annie, and Lori. You just felt like they were real. Like even as a little kid, I felt like I could connect to them as
Right.
people. They made sense to me. And these actresses specifically, like Jamie Lee and PJ and Nancy, they were just really, they were just good in what they did. They were very, and Charles Cyphers, as Brackett, I mean, he's such a great character actor, you know what I'm saying? And obviously Carpenter had him in some of his other movies, and he
Mhm.
al- he always popped, you know what I'm saying? Like he always popped in anything he did, even if it was a small role. So I think it was a little bit of both. Um, like Val said earlier, it truly is like lightning in a bottle, man, because, watching that movie even today, 45 years later, I dig these characters, and it's no, and I know you're not going to be talking about it for a while, but it's no shade to like the RZ films, and
Mhm.
I love those actors and actresses, and a lot of them are legendary in their own right, but it's something about those OGs that they're just amazing, you know.
Absolutely, I agree.
Hmm.
I do agree with that. Real quick, hold on, let me get that off. But yeah, I absolutely agree with what you just said, Knight, man. Like this movie, like with John Carpenter and these actors, like they just the talent all around oozes out. And it's
Hmm.
amazing how so many years later they still have that same effect on people that they did when they first hit the screen.
Hmm.
And man, and I really think, like you said, and Val said earlier, it truly is lightning in a bottle because you don't get those type of movies like that anymore, in my opinion. Like you'll get
Hmm.
these movies that you'll be like, okay, that was pretty good. I like it,
Hmm.
but it's not really like, oh my goodness, I want to see a second one. I want to see a third one. I want to see this become a franchise. We
Hmm.
hardly get that anymore,
Hmm.
and like you said, nothing against Rob Zombie's, characters because he has some really good actors and actresses
Hmm.
in those movies. In my opinion, and I think you can agree with this, they just didn't fit his style for what a Halloween movie is.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people, a lot of fans kind of that's why they shy away from those films and don't really talk about those characters as much as they talk about PJ Souls, Nancy Loomis, Charles Cyphers. Like that's why they don't get the love that they do, in my opinion. What do you think
Mhm.
about that, Val? Now that that you're back in here, how do you feel about that?
And my own technical difficulty, sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. Hey, Val, come on. I spent the first 15 minutes going through it.
Um, you know, the characters, what other movies can people literally go through and name almost every character? Loomis, that in itself. The other thing I liked about those characters, and I grew up in that 70s time, they were very physically like the girls, teenage girls you were seeing in that time. So they were extremely relatable to the audience. They were your girls next door. They were your babysitters that were, coming. And I think they, each one of them that they picked just literally absolutely fit that time period, those roles, And again, what other movie can so many people literally name every character in the movie? Sheriff Brackett, Loomis, Annie, Bob, Ben, all of them, that's special. That's
Right.
Mhm. Yep.
Hey, calm down, puppy. Okay, so I guess we'll ask next since we brought up Loomis, and I know this might be a hot take question, but in contrast to Jamie Lee Curtis's character Laurie Strode, can you view Loomis as the greatest character, not Michael Myers, in the Halloween franchise, even above Laurie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 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 and more yes.
I know that's right, Knight. I agree.
Absolutely.
And maybe the reason, maybe it's me being biased, because of how big of a fan of him I am. But I look at it as he stuck around where Jamie didn't. He decided to stick with the franchise, no matter how ridiculous the storyline got. You knew you were going to get Dr. Loomis to show up to try to kill Michael Myers in that film.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and I guess because obviously, Donald, unfortunately passed so long ago, that the newer audience, the newer generation doesn't get the opportunity, unless they really hone in on all those films, to appreciate Loomis. I actually appreciate, Jamie because, she's played in the most recent 3 films and stuff. But, I like to remind people, there was a time where we did not get Jamie Lee Curtis for 5 movies. And in between all those movies, it was Donald Pleasance who was showing up sequel after sequel after sequel, keeping the Halloween franchise spirit alive, no matter who they plugged in there, and fortunately, especially in 4 and 5, even if 5 wasn't that great, you had great actresses like Danielle Harris come in and Ellie Cornell, to fill that void. But outside of that, and this is, again, maybe a hot take, without Loomis, without Donald Pleasance showing up every sequel, do you guys think that those movies even have the impact that they still have today?
No, I don't think so. The Loomis character is a driving force. He is the one. If you don't have him obsessing, really about Michael, I don't think you get the same kind of movie.
Agreed, man. He's the glue, man. He's Van Helsing. He's the guy that, for me as a kid, he was my hero, and it was really cool because even as a kid, I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm so attached to this older, doctor gentleman who's like telling me what I need to be watching out for in this Michael Myers character. Like, he was teaching me about Michael Myers as he was teaching people in the movie about it. So, like, for me, especially in those first 2 movies, I was just always thinking, man, I hope Loomis can save the day. Is he going to be able to save the day? I loved Jamie Lee Curtis, no doubt, but Loomis was that glue. He was the guy teaching us, and I was a happy student. I was a happy student.
I agree with that, man. Everything you just said is 100% spot on with me. But I do want to shed some light on a theory that Val shared with me. Now, me and Val, just a few weeks ago, we stood on the phone for like a good 3 to 4 hours just talking about everything, movies, sports, whatever, and stuff. And Val shared this theory with me that she had about, because we all, how a lot of us like to say Michael is kind of supernatural. Calm down. Stop fighting. But how Michael is kind of supernatural. Well, Val actually made a really good point by saying we got to keep in mind Michael is actually, he really is human. He's not supernatural. And she pointed out that maybe Loomis telling Michael all those years that basically you are a monster is what further turned him into a monster. So, Val, do you want to, basically elaborate in your own words exactly how you said it? Because I think that theory is interesting, and I want to, get Knight's take on it.
Well, I think I even sent it tonight at one point too. I just, think about it. 6-year-old kills a sister. Absolutely a horrible thing, bad thing. But is it really this pure evil that he talks about? That Loomis talks about, and how he talks about Michael. Now, he, 6-year-old kid, he's institutionalized. He doesn't speak to Dr. Loomis. Is that something that's really, again, pure evil? And with Loomis's obsession and not being able to reach him in Loomis's own, and again, when somebody tells you something over and over and over and over and over again, eventually you're going to cave, especially at that young age, and become what that person tells you you are. And if you really look at it, that's exactly what Loomis did.
I have to agree with that. What do you think about that, Knight?
I mean, and I think in that, and I do remember you talking about that, Val, and I think it's a really great way to look at it, because you're right. I mean, Michael's only outlet was Loomis, for all of those years, and he is a child, he has that mindset of a child, and whatever was going on with him before he killed Judith was still there. And it's almost like it was like a flickering little fire, and it's like Loomis was pouring gasoline on it, and basically saying, all of these things. And I could definitely agree with that way of looking at it, because again, what choice does Michael have? He obviously had something inside of him to cause him to do what he did to Judith. And with Loomis feeding more onto that, it makes sense. It totally does. I can definitely agree with it.
Yeah, man. When she hit me with that, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. It made me change my whole perspective.
Right? I know.
I was like, dang, man, what are you making me feel about my boy Loomis like this?
I know, man. I know.
But see, right there though, and that's the beauty of not just the movie, but us as the fans, is that you'll see we have so many different perspectives on how you view things. And they're all, for the most part, really, really credible. That is a really credible perspective, especially when you get those deleted scenes that didn't make it into the final cut. And you see Dr. Loomis going to Michael's room. Oh, you fooled them, haven't you, Michael? And stuff like that. Like, basically agging Michael on and stuff. Like, when Val hit me with that, I was like, man, that's a really good point. So definitely, again, hey, Val, good stuff. That's a really good perspective. And anybody in the chat who probably didn't think of that perspective before, I definitely encourage you to open your mind and really think about it from that way, because Loomis, especially over the course of the sequels, he started to become the madman that he claimed Michael was himself.
Yes. If that girl dies tonight,
follow her then.
You haven't got a police force.
Was it Charlie? Michael, my answer's here.
That's good.
Go inside and protect the little girl. Oh man. Oh man. He completely started going off the rails.
He did.
And stuff. So you can definitely make that case. I mean, you slowly even seen it in Halloween 78.
Yes.
With all those speeches to Brackett, and the way he viewed Michael,
Hmm.
He was already there. It's just over the course of time, it just started to open up even more.
Yes.
It's crazy. It's truly amazing. It really is. That's character development. That's character arc.
Hmm.
Like how a guy who started off as a normal psychiatrist, a normal doctor, got so hooked on one patient that
Obsession.
literally drove him insane.
Hmm.
Yeah. He
It's
was
crazy.
so obsessed.
Yes.
Absolutely. And real quick, I do want to acknowledge, everyone in the chat and stuff like that. Real quick, Scott Walker, I seen you commented earlier saying that you're not feeling too well. You have the flu. Scott, my friend, I greatly appreciate you stopping in and always showing the support that you show the channel here. And my friend, I hope you definitely get better. That's not fun at all having the flu. I know how that feels. So definitely rest up and get better, buddy. I
Yeah.
greatly appreciate you being here with the flu and all. Like, I would encourage you to be sleeping and getting some rest right now, but you're here with us, and that's awesome. You know what I mean? That's a lot of courage, in my opinion, because I know if I had the flu, listen,
Hmm.
guys, I can't do the stream tonight. I'm
Yep.
sleeping. I'm sleeping the whole night. I got to get my rest.
Right.
So shout out to you, Scott. That's crazy, but I hope you definitely get better, man. Ooh, I like this take by Dominic St. Clair Studios saying Dr. Loomis is the Ash Williams of Halloween.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Jason and Ice one saying definitely Marcus Knight, Val, and Donald Pleasance was brilliant. What a true professional. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And if people forget, because his character in Halloween is, so synonymous in the horror franchise, that Donald Pleasance has a lot of other horror classics out there as well.
Oh yeah. I loved
Prince
him
of
in Prince of
Darkness, to name one
Darkness.
of them. Yup,
Yeah,
Prince of
there you go.
Darkness.
Yep.
Man, if I'm not mistaken, because I haven't seen it in a while, didn't he play in Sleepwalkers as well?
Ooh. No.
It was one of those. I want to think it was one of those like cat movies.
Sleepwalkers.
Hold on, I can look it up right now
Was it
because
Cat's
I
Eye?
know. I don't know. I know it
Might
had some.
rewatch that. I don't remember seeing him in there.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now.
Now you got me curious, man. Because I'm gonna be like, man, I gotta see it if it's something I haven't seen. I love Donald Pleasance, man.
Absolutely.
He's so good, man. I loved him in Escape from New York too. He was really good in that little role.
I haven't seen that movie in so long. I got to watch it again.
Yes, you gotta watch it, man.
Okay, so yeah, we got. Let's see here, man, because he's got so many credits.
He does.
Okay.
They almost didn't do this movie.
I know, isn't that crazy though? Like that would have been. Oh, I'm just so glad he did it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I cannot imagine anybody else playing Dr. Loomis. I really can't.
Right?
Like, especially in that time.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I can't. I cannot imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
nothing against Malcolm McDowell, but in my opinion, that's a prime example right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like,
Yep.
especially with how Rob, made him, it just didn't hit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree. Well, they wanted Christopher Lee or Peter Cushing at first for the character of Loomis, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what John Carpenter was envisioning. But they I don't know if it was Mustafa or whoever was saying, well, we don't want this to be kind of connected to like Hammer horror, because Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing were so synonymous with Hammer horror films.
Okay, the one like cat movie he had was called The Uncanny.
Oh,
I've never seen that.
I don't think I've seen that.
No.
Yeah, I must have been wrong. I could have swore he was in one of those like, Sleepwalker or Night Walk Stalkers or whatever it was called movies. I could have sworn he was in it, but maybe I was thinking of somebody else. But I could have sworn because I don't see it here on his credits. But yeah, he definitely has a lot of horror content underneath his belt.
Hmm.
Like just even looking at this list, it's incredible. Like
Yep.
he's a true icon. Now, real quick, I want to ask, before we move on to Halloween 2, because Knight, I know you recently had Sandy Johnson on your channel, man, Judith
Yeah.
Myers,
Yeah.
and that question I asked her, it really got my gears grinding, man. Now, one thing I'll ask is this about the, Sandy Johnson Halloween fan film, if you will, that I kind of, envisioned to a degree. Instead, and this is just, to get different a little bit, and because he wasn't wearing the shape mask that we know him to wear, that he's famous for.
Hmm.
If somebody were to come along and make a fan film with Sandy Johnson about Judith Myers and Michael Myers, how would you feel if the clown costume was the main costume?
Ooh, wow. Ooh,
Bro,
I wouldn't
man.
be mad at that.
it's
No,
what started it all.
it's true. It's true,
Hey,
man.
calm down. Calm
I
down.
think that would still be really, really cool, man, because like you said, that's what it started with. And I think the thing about Michael, especially if he's characterized physically in a lot of the same ways as far as how he moves and just
Right.
that almost inhuman type of physicality that Nick Castle had with him in the 78 movie, or even Warlock in the Halloween 2. But I think that would be actually kind of cool, man. I could deal with that. That'd be
Man,
interesting.
I was just sitting here thinking about it while you were on the stream talking to her, and I asked that question. And I'm like, man, that would be cool to do like a fan film surrounding, Judith and Michael's story, because I like that idea that she had about her surviving, and then so many years later she would come back and she hears he's back and basically confront him, or the
Mm,
way she said she would go about it. And I was just sitting there like, wow, what a way to get different by using the clown costume, because
mhm,
that was their thing. The shape is what Laurie knows, but what
Right.
she knows is Michael Judith is the clown mask and the clown
mhm.
costume. So I think that would be really cool. What do you think about that, Val?
That would be cool. I definitely could. I'd watch that for sure with the clown.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
think that man, like
And I
I'll put it
even
this
like
way.
the
If
stories she had.
yes, I did too. And that's why it
Mhm.
really intrigued me. I'll put it this way. If hopefully somebody doesn't come along by then and take that idea, that's something I would not mind doing as a fan film project. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
that would be fun. Man, whew, so many good ideas for this franchise. I
It
tell
is
you,
good, man. It is really good, and
so many good ideas.
it's creative, and it still can work within like the rhythm of what we enjoy so much about Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it could be
Right.
fun. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, now, Knight, I know we have you probably for what, like another 30 minutes, something like that?
Yeah. I got another
Okay.
30 minutes or so. Yeah.
Okay, because I want to get your take, obviously, on Halloween 2 and 3. So
Mhm,
now we're going to move on to Halloween 2. This film came out in 1981,
mhm.
and much to the chagrin of John Carpenter, in my opinion, it's maybe just a hot take, but this arguably is the best sequel follow up to an original in maybe horror history or even movie history. Like, I feel like Halloween 2, like, you can make the argument that it is literally on that level, like one of the best sequels ever. How do you
Mm.
feel about that, Knight?
Oof, man. I mean, I absolutely love Halloween 2. It's one of those movies. And this is probably an even hotter take, but I saw Halloween 2 first
Oh,
before
wow.
I saw the original,
Oh,
Wow.
you know. And
wow.
so it was one of those things where, and I was only like whatever 7 or whatever years old, and it was on TV, and I caught, I don't know, maybe about 70 or 80% of it, and it was just scaring the crap out of me. And then they played the original because it was like a marathon where they would piggyback back and forth between 1 and 2. And so 2 is just amazing because it picks right up after 1. It feels
Yeah.
very much like a Carpenter movie.
Yep.
um it has a lot of great stuff. You know, they amped up the violence a little bit because that's just what was happening at that time with slashers. Um, but I love it, man. I absolutely love it, and I love to do a double feature of 78 and then Halloween 2 back to back. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of the best double features of all time, in my opinion. It really is.
Hey man, if you do that, sign me up. I'll make sure that I can come over. That would be cool. Like
Mm,
seriously, that would be cool. Like it's funny because you brought it up that way because when my mom bought Halloween 78 on DVD, she got it at Walmart as the double feature with two. And it was
yes,
so funny because she came home, she's like, "Look what I found in a $5 box," and I'm like,
nice.
"No way!" And then she was just like, "Yup." She was like, "It was sitting right there, and I had to grab it." I was like, "Hey, you get two of the most iconic, horror films in one set for $5. You're not doing too bad."
Right,
You know what
right.
I mean? Like, so Val, what is your take on Halloween 2?
Well, it's, I would say probably one of the best uh, in horror. A very solid sequel. I love that it was the direct sequel that literally picked up right where we left off. I love that part of it. Um, I love that they tried to stay with the 78, a little bit of the stalker, even though they amped up the violence, he still had that stalker creepy in the shadows, kind of vibe. So I really like that about that movie. So yeah, it's probably one of my favorite sequels out there.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Like, I watched two, and the reason why I like two so much is because we get it in the hospital setting.
Mm,
That
Where no
is
one
so
works.
creepy, especially when he's walking down the halls, and he's just going through doors, picking his
Yeah,
spots. And
yeah,
then that scene after, the nurse finds Dr. Mixter and he just comes behind her and it's like that red silhouette.
hmm
It's just like the cinematography, just like in Halloween 78, they
hmm
definitely did keep a lot of Carpenter feel in this movie. And
yeah.
so, but I know he had a little
Great.
bit to do with it,
hmm
but he wasn't directing, he wasn't as hands-on as the original. And
hmm
they definitely still did keep that ambiance and that feel.
Great.
And another thing that I liked as well is the characters, like the doctors themselves. Like you had Leo Rossi, you
Yes.
know, he's so funny in that movie. And then you had Jimmy, Lance
hmm
Guest, you know, and I'll ask this about Jimmy, you know, even though obviously we're going to talk about H2O later down the road. Do you think that being that H2O is supposed to pick up from the events of Halloween 2? Do you think that there's a possibility that Jimmy and Lori could have, hit it off after those events and maybe he was John Tate's father? Because we never got Jimmy's last name from what I can remember. And we don't know who John's father is in Halloween H2O.
hmm Yeah,
That's
definitely.
interesting. Yeah,
hmm Yeah.
And
I
like,
can
how
see that.
crazy would that be if that would be revealed? Like, especially if if Josh Hartnett were to come back to the franchise, which
hmm
I pray happens one day. like
I know, man. That'd be awesome.
like that would be crazy. I always thought about that because of the supposed that direct sequel to in Halloween show is supposed to be the Halloween 2. I always thought like, man, I wonder who John's father is. They never said that.
hmm
And that would be interesting if it was Jimmy. Jimmy.
I know, man. Lance Guest, he was really good in that role too, man. He was very, he was just that regular, kind of like boy next door type of
Nice
person,
guy.
Right.
nice guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I'll go get you.
Yeah.
No, you will not. Visiting
Right.
hours is definitely over.
That's
Mrs. House.
that's right. That's
Man,
right.
I seen somebody on Instagram. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. If you don't like a character, that's fine. You know
hmm
what I mean? But somebody on Instagram the other day was really like, "Oh, I cannot stand Mrs. Alice. She was so mean and
hmm
this and this and that." And I'm like, man, I like Mrs. Alice.
Yeah.
How do you
Like,
guys feel about Mrs. Owls?
like she was like one of the only people in the hospital that was actually responsible.
Right.
like, can you imagine how that hospital will run without her?
Right. That's what I'm saying, Knight.
And
Like,
who was actually working.
Right.
right.
Dr.
Absolutely.
Victor is drinking at parties, and you got nurses going into the hydrotherapy room.
Oh man, so true. And I like that character for her because she was stern. You know what I mean? Like she had this sternness to her. I didn't get to feel that she was like really snobbish. No, she just lets you know what it's going to be. You know, and I actually liked it. You know, I her death was actually a little bit disappointing to me. I actually would wish she would have got to live, but she obviously didn't and stuff. But you know, and I actually wish we would have got to see that kill.
And
You know, that
again, her character is very reminiscent of that time. You know, that's how nurses were in the hospital. They were very strict, very stern, you know. So they cut, I like that too, that they cut very much to the real, you know, what's really going on out there, you know, show the in real life, you know, kind of thing. I like that.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about the opening of Halloween 2. Now, we talked about how we feel about the movie as one of the best sequels. But let's talk about the opening. Is the opening one of the greatest openings of all time? You get Loomis, you know, it's running right after Halloween 78. You get Loomis coming out. He checks the spot where Michael was laying. He sees the blood. And then the neighbor comes out. And the neighbor, you know, is like, he's like, what's going on out here? Call the police. Tell the sheriff I shot him 6 times. Tell him he's still on the loose. Is this some kind of joke? I've been trick-or-treated to death tonight. You don't know what death is?
Yeah.
And then the music hits. Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Bro, like, I swear, like, that is just one of the openings in any horror franchise that I could literally just play the opening and then not watch the rest of the movie from then on.
That's
like that opening is so good, especially with the revised Halloween theme. I actually like that version. You know, it kind of was up tempo, gave it kind of a digital sound to it a little bit. And the way the credits roll with the whole pumpkin splitting open and you see the skeleton and all that stuff, like, in my opinion, that is one of the greatest openings, not just in a horror movie, but in a movie period of all time. What do you feel about that, Val? We'll start with you.
Actually, Marcus, start with Night and I'll be right back.
Okay. Hey, you know you ain't supposed to say that.
That was good, man. That was good.
I had to. It was perfect timing.
That was good timing, man. No, but you're right, man. The opening is just so amazing, and it's so iconic. And you're right, man. Like horror movies, they just don't do that anymore. The only other movies to me that start off and have that like coolness going on is some of the Friday 13th movies, you know, especially some of the earlier sequels, because they would show scenes from the previous movie and, you know, something would pop or whatever. But specifically with Halloween 2, it just got you on the ground running, man. Because as soon as he says, you don't know what death is, and I'm like, oh, man. And again, Loomis, the great thing about Halloween 2 as well is Loomis was put in the forefront. And I loved it. I loved it so much. Now, granted, and I agree, and a lot of people, you know, they were a little frustrated the fact that Laurie was put on the back burner a lot. And I do agree with that. It is kind of too bad we couldn't have gotten a little bit more of Laurie. But because we got so much Loomis, I was fine with it because he's literally hunting Michael in this entire friggin' movie. And it's just fantastic. It's fantastic.
I agree, man. Like, I absolutely love it. And I love that point you just made. Like, they put Loomis at the forefront. So in Halloween 78, you get your final girl. and then in Halloween 2, you get your final guy. You know what I mean? You get those two solidified. You know, those are the two right there that are mainly connected to Michael. And I think it was really well executed. And another thing that I like about Halloween 2, in terms of, characters, Officer Hunt taking over for Brackett after, Annie, unfortunately was killed off. And then Brackett, sees her body. And he says that iconic line in Loomis, "Damn you, what have you done? You let him out." Like, and then you see Officer Hunt get pushed to the forefront. And now he's kind of leading this charge with Dr. Loomis. And at first, you can tell, Hunt doesn't believe him. He thinks that, Ben Tramer, who gets burnt up, wearing this similar type of Michael Myers costume, he thinks that is Michael Myers. But then you slowly but surely, as the movie progresses, you see him start to believe in what Dr. Loomis is saying. Especially once the schoolhouse is broken into. Now he's, got this thought like, okay, so this couldn't be the person who got hit with the car. This has to be who, Michael still has to be out there. And I thought that even though we didn't get to really see much of him in the final act, I thought that was a really good character in the middle part of the movie for stability.
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, it kind of gave you a sense of what was going on, and the fact that it was almost like a little bit of a team. Like, let's work on this together to try to save this town from going through what it just went through, from the events of the first movie. And so I did like Hunt a lot because, he seemed to be the way he was portrayed. It seemed very realistic. Of course he's gonna, kind of have some doubts at first, but as like you said, as certain things transpired, he was kind of like, okay, well, let me listen to this guy. He's great, and we don't want Michael killing a bunch of other teens again,
Right, absolutely. And I love, like, and to touch on what was just saying about his story arc in terms of not believing Loomis and then believing Loomis, is when one of his fellow officers saying, "Oh, I checked this perimeter and there's nothing there," and he looks at him, he says, "Check it again." And he's like, "There's just nothing there. Check it again." I love that because it's just like now you see him taking charge. And they needed that, especially from, the police, to have that type of character because their main sheriff, he wasn't mentally there to be that leader. He just lost his daughter. He's not mentally equipped for this situation. Hunt definitely did step forward and did a brilliant job, in my opinion, bringing stability to that police officer type character.
Yeah, I agree. He was a great character. He really was.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll even go as far as saying, and I've thought about this too, I would love to see that character brought back in maybe a fan film or maybe as an homage in a future Halloween film.
Yeah.
Like, I like the Hunt character a lot.
Me too, man. Absolutely. No, he was good.
Okay, so let me get to some of you guys' comments. I know I'm like way behind. Mr. Dan in Horror saying bedtime for me, good night all. Well, I'm sorry if I missed any of your comments, Mr. Dan in Horror, but thank you for stopping in and showing support. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully I can catch you the next time before you go to bed.
Catch you later, Dan.
And Scott, my next live stream is going to be Tuesday. I actually am going to be on Katie's channel, Popping the Popcorn, tomorrow night for an edition of Creator's Corner. She's having me on there for that episode tomorrow night. So I'll be on Katie's channel tomorrow night, and then Tuesday I'll be back in a live stream myself, Scott. I'll actually be having 3 live streams of the podcast this week, as my schedule is now a little bit more open to where I can do a lot more content.
Nice.
Yes. And I still obviously work my regular job just on the weekend, those long shifts, so you can get that full time still, close to it at least. So you can maintain that, every week paycheck. You gotta still live life. You still gotta pay bills. So, right. I'm just glad I got that covered, and now more time to do this as well. It's gonna be fun. Scott Walker saying there's one thing I did not like to Halloween 5 is when Dr. Loomis was going crazy. It was going crazy, was yelling and screaming, frightening poor little Jamie Lloyd, and asking the question is, where's Michael? I actually, I mean, I know we're not talking about Halloween 5, this time around, but just to touch on this, this comment by Scott, I actually like it.
Yeah, it was
I
it
like
was an
it.
interesting arc.
Yes, absolutely. It shows you just how deep Dr. Loomis got into wanting to kill Michael. Like, he went crazy himself, dedicating his life to this. Like, the man done showed up at this point in 5 movies trying to kill this dude.
That's
You know,
right.
at this point, Halloween 5 happened in 1989, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yep.
So at this point, Loomis is 11 years, if you're not counting sanitarium years.
hmm
He is 11 years deep in trying to kill Michael Myers. I mean, I think that would drive me insane too.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, Scott, again, you're entitled to your opinion. I personally like it. I like it a lot. What do you say about that, Knight?
I enjoyed it in the sense, like you said earlier too. It just made for an interesting character arc, and I think it also spoke to the power of Michael. And the fact that he was a vessel, a human vessel for evil. And when you're around people like that, people talk about people's energy or people's aura and stuff like that. I think it's all very similar based. And when you're around like a dark person like that, like Michael, this little kid that killed his sister and is
Right.
not speaking anymore, and then he goes on this murder spree and so forth and so forth and so forth, dude, some of that has to linger around you. So it made
Rub off
sense.
on you.
Yeah,
Right.
it made
Absolutely.
sense. Mhm.
What do you feel about that, Val? What do you feel about Scott's comment about Loomis going crazy and screaming and frightening poor little Jamie Lloyd?
It again, like I was saying, it goes to show how deep he is into the obsession
Right.
Mhm.
with him. That is literally driving him to scream at little kids like an insane madman.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
You want her? Here she is. Yeah, little girl. Man, he
Again,
definitely did.
showing a
He
great
snapped.
character arc. Again,
Absolutely.
showing that great character arc.
Mhm.
How
Absolutely. He snapped to the point he had a heart attack.
Mhm.
Like, that's no joke. That's no joke.
Yep. Die,
like you-
die,
Yeah.
Michael, die.
It was like the further Michael got into it, the further, they were almost running parallel to each other, The more Michael went on to kill, Loomis just pushed that obsession just as far,
Mhm.
So almost running
Absolutely.
parallel roads.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's crazy. It's so funny you say that, Val, because it's like parallel roads, but they're like heading in the same direction.
Mhm.
Like, they're basically both at the madman stage. So,
Yep.
it's just crazy. That's, like you said, that's story arc, that's character arc. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I love that about Dr. Loomis. It definitely created some great dialogue and great moments.
It did. It really did.
Okay, so real quick, hey Nanette, I wanted to say hi to you because I seen you were in the chat, and I didn't get to say hi to you yet. What is going on to Blood Rose Horror Nightmare, which is Nanette? I hope you're having a great night tonight. Thank you for stopping in, as well as Mayanne. How are you doing tonight, Mayanne? And
Hey.
Heather Jones. What is going on, Heather? I hope you're having a great night as well.
Hey.
Philip, I seen you were in the chat as well earlier. I wanted to get to you as well. How you doing? I hope you're having a great night, buddy. And Melissa, I seen that you was in here earlier as well, and I wanted to say hello to you too, guys. I'm a little bit behind. You already know when the conversation gets flowing, it's hard to keep up with the chat and all that stuff. And plus, I was a little bit behind with these technical difficulties before I made the smart switch over to the phone. So just definitely wanted to catch up and definitely get some good content here and some great conversation with Val and Knight, because Knight is going to be leaving us here shortly. So I definitely, again, wanted to get some great content for this live stream and have a great conversation. It's always a great conversation with Knight and Val. So again, guys, like, I greatly appreciate you guys being here, and it's definitely a fun conversation. And now we're going to move on to Halloween 3.
Yeah.
Season of the Witch.
Mm.
I will say this, and I think I can speak for a lot of people. When I first watched this film, I didn't like it because it didn't have Michael Myers. And I didn't understand it for what it was. But then once I got older and I watched it a few more times, I absolutely loved this movie because it didn't have Michael Myers in it, and they went into a direction that is still Halloween. Anything can happen on Halloween. Anything can be on Halloween. And that's what John Carpenter, the brilliance of John Carpenter, captured in this movie. You got the Silver Shamrock factory that creates these masks that basically turn people into these robots and all that stuff. And it's a unique take on Halloween, the festivities of Halloween as well. And Knight, what do you think about Halloween Season of the Witch? When you first watched it, did you like it? And how do you feel about it now?
I absolutely hated it as a kid when I first watched it. As a matter of fact, I hated it so much that I didn't even watch it for, like, I don't know. I might have seen it when I was maybe like 9 or 10 or something like that. I didn't watch it for like at least a good decade, because I just hated it. I didn't understand it, similar to what you were saying. And it's probably one of my best examples of a movie that I totally just had so much dislike and disdain for, and now I absolutely love it, because when I was in my late teens or maybe early 20s or whatever, I just said, let me just watch it, because I'd seen all the other movies up to that point, and I was like, let me just watch it. I know Michael's not in it. And then I just kind of took it for what it was, and I realized how good of a movie it is. And it's got so much charm to it. It's got so much atmosphere to it. Like you said, it seems so festive, set on Halloween, and them going to this weird town where Silver Shamrock basically rules. And it's a great movie. It really, really is. And it showed me, especially as a YouTuber, it showed me that your opinions can change, so even if you say you don't like something, it doesn't mean that you're always not going to like it, And I always think about Season of Witch when I think about being open-minded about movies.
Absolutely. And before we get to you, Val, Nanette coming in with a $2 super chat asking, who is your favorite character in Halloween? So before we get to that question, that I just asked Knight, for you, Val, who is your favorite character in Halloween 3?
Again, sorry, I'm not the doctor, the creator of it. What is his name?
Oh, Cochran, the
Yes,
villain?
Cochran.
Yeah.
Thank you. That guy just was creepy all around. Creepy. Yeah.
He
He's
definitely
probably
had
my
that
favorite.
smile. He had that smile that just creeped you out.
Yes, it's true.
Knight, who's your favorite character in Halloween 3? Would it be Cochran as well?
Well, I definitely love Cochran, but look, man, I can't lie, man. I'm a Tom Atkins bro. I mean, like Tom Atkins, like I could literally watch him in a movie where he's just like, I don't know, singing a Mickey Mouse song, and I'm going to be entertained. I just love him in this movie. There's so many things that like is wrong, as far as his characterization that you wouldn't see in a movie nowadays. But I love it because he's just one of those great character actors that always makes an impression. So I got to go with Dr. Chalice, played by Tom Atkins.
I'm right there with you, Knight. That's my favorite character, man. Like Tom Atkins, especially because, Tom Atkins played in so many of these classic horror, movies in the 70s and 80s that doesn't really get love. I mean? The first Tom Atkins movie I ever watched was actually Maniac Cop. I mean? He was in that or whatever and stuff. And I love the character work he did in that film. And then we get to Halloween 3, especially once I got older to understand how the movie was supposed to be. Absolutely loved his character. Like, he knocks it out the park. I can't think of one bad movie with Tom Atkins in it. I can't. Like, I cannot. He, at least on his end anyway, in terms of acting, he always does such a great job. So I'm right there with Knight, Dr. Chalice for me. Like, but just this movie overall, like you said, it's a really good movie. It's a really good Halloween movie. If you take out being a Michael Myers fan, you know, that version of what Halloween is, if you take that out and you really focus on the overall essence of Halloween, I feel like you will actually love this movie if you give it that chance and that perspective.
Yep,
You know,
absolutely.
it's a really good film. Like, it's crazy, and it's actually has grown a cult following over the last 10, 20 years or so. Like, it has a fan base, you know. So I think that goes to show once again the testament and the brilliance of John Carpenter.
Yep.
You know, like, because I remember he did this interview, and I put it in my video for talking about John Carpenter possibly coming back to the Halloween franchise. And I played this clip of him talking about Halloween 2, and he said it's an abomination, it's a disaster, it's terrible. He said the director has no talent. Halloween 3, that was done by a director with talent. I was just like, my goodness. He just totally flamed him. I'm just like, man.
Yep.
But when you look at that film and how he orchestrated it, and then if you really want to be, you know, snide, Michael Myers was in the film. He was just like on a commercial.
That's right. He found a way.
And we also got Nancy Loomis,
Yes.
who played Annie Brackett to play in Halloween 3. You know, like, and that, see, and I'll tell you guys this. I remember being a kid and watching Halloween 3 and seeing her, and I'm like, how is she alive? She's supposed to be dead. Because I'm not understanding what's going on.
Right.
And then obviously when I got older, I'm like, she's playing a different character. This makes sense.
Right.
Like, but that just comes to show, like, just again, how great John Carpenter is, that he can turn around and bring characters that will bring actors that he utilized in a previous film, give them a whole new character. And if you really pay attention to what the movie's about, you'll exclude the fact that even though they're in the same franchise, that this character died in a previous iteration.
Right. That's right.
Like, he did such a good job with that, man. Like, man, again, Halloween 3 is a really good film. Like, I'll put it this way, in terms of third films, trilogies in a franchise, where would you guys rank Halloween 3 on your list? Val, I'll start with you.
I want to say I think I ranked it like 3 or 4 or 5 in my rankings when we did. I ranked it 4. I'll rank 4. Yeah.
How
Again,
about you,
it
Mike?
was-
What do I think of it as far as how it's ranked as a third movie in a franchise?
Yes.
I think it's really, really good, man. I mean, you know, with franchises, once you get to the third movie, you're starting to head into some deep waters, you know. And I think Season of the Witch, because of the fact that they did something so unique, it helps to make it stand out. And I think it's up there with some of the best of part 3s in franchises. I really do. I mean, the only ones that I can think of that I think, you know, would match or surpass it is probably Dream Warriors, you know, because you know, but that's almost not fair, because I mean, it's Dream Warriors. I mean, like, what's better than you know, what's better than Dream Warriors? But in and of itself, it's a very effective third movie, and like Val said, as far as like overall in the Halloween franchise, it's in my top 5 too. I'm pretty sure I put it in my top 5 in the whole franchise, which is 13 films. So that's pretty good.
Absolutely. And you got to think for a standalone film without Michael Myers, that's doing really good to have it that highly ranked.
Mhm.
Like, man, like, yeah, it's definitely one. I'll put it this way for me in terms of trilogies that I've watched, in terms of like horror movie franchises, I got to put it up there for me, man,
Mhm.
because of the creativity. I'd probably rank it. I might even just rank it as the best. And it's because, again, I can't think of another trilogy, a third part anyway, that got different that way and creative that way.
Mm.
John completely took the same title that he used for another character, created a whole different atmosphere and element around it, and made it work.
Mm.
That doesn't happen often,
Right.
you know. And again, it just goes back to the feel of Halloween.
Mm.
It may not be Michael Myers, but it feels like Halloween. Like
Mhm.
you hear that song, every day is Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Like, and you hear that Silver Shamrock song, you feel like, man, it's Halloween time. You know
Mhm.
what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, and it's just an incredible job, what John Carpenter did with that third film. Now, in terms of the Halloween franchise, I'd probably rank it. I'd want to say probably I'd have to say fifth because I know for a fact I have 78 number one, I have Halloween 2018 as number two, I have Halloween 2 as number three, and Halloween 4 at number four and stuff. So if I'm going to say Halloween 3, is anywhere, it's going to be five for me,
Mhm.
but again, out of 13 films, that's pretty high,
Mhm. Yep.
and
Mhm.
it's just a really great movie. I'm not going to lie. I'm glad that I got older and wiser and I understand what this movie means because again, when we were kids, all we knew was Michael Myers for
That's right.
Halloween,
That's
you
right.
know, and now that we're older, it's like, okay, Halloween, you can be anything, you can dress up as anybody, you can be whatever.
Mhm.
Doesn't just have to be about, wearing, overalls and a plain white mask. Even though that's,
That's right.
iconic and cool, it's also
Mhm.
cool to be different. And that's
Mhm.
what John Carpenter did with Halloween 3.
Yep.
And I
Now, Knight, I know you got to go here soon, buddy. So how much longer do we have you for?
Yeah. I got another minute or two to close up. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I guess I'll ask you this night before you go.
Mhm.
In the next Halloween film, because we're going to get one,
Yep.
what do you want to see happen for that film? Do you want to see Danielle Harris come back and they continue an old story and, breathe some new life into it?
Mhm.
Or do you want to see the franchise go in the direction that Resurrection tried to go in by placing Michael in a whole new setting with a whole bunch of new characters that are not connected to him in any shape, way, or form?
Well, I think the smart money and what I would want is to come back to Jamie Lloyd's character and bring Daniel Harris back because I think that's number one. I think it's a smart money for the franchise, but
Yep.
I think I also would be most interested in that because number
Right.
one,
Yeah.
four for me as well was a very special movie, and I think
Mhm.
that um you could do so many cool things with that. And Danielle is at an age now that tracks with the amount of time that has passed since then. You know what I'm saying? So like everything, like it's never been a better time, because
I agree.
she's exactly at the type of age right now as an actress and a person. I mean, to do it, and you can still have your young Michael. You
Yep.
can still pull from the lore of the previous films, and obviously, and we all love Jamie Lee, but we don't need her in it. And obviously, she's not in it in that timeline, at that point. So it, you got everything you need, man. Like that's
Yep.
to me, it's smart money, and it's almost like a no brainer.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I agree.
So
So I assume Val. Well,
100%. Oh, absolutely.
so Val, you're on board with Jamie Lloyd coming back too. Yep.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah.
mhm.
Let's not
Even
forget
though
about.
initially I wasn't crazy about that timeline, with the family connection and the cult thing.
Mhm.
But again, that's one I kind of went back like maybe a year and a half after it came out and revisited. I'm like, okay, I'm liking this, and I love Danielle Harris in that movie. That young girl stole that show.
Mhm.
You know,
She
she
did.
really carried those movies.
Mhm.
And I think, Knight,
Absolutely.
you even said, like in 5, how she carried that movie and didn't speak through what, more than half of
That's right.
3/4 of the movie.
That's right.
So,
You know. Yep. She had that
yeah,
natural charisma.
and I would love to see it them almost do like the time, and like Knight said, she's a perfect age for it to do that time jump like they did, with 18,
Hmm.
and everybody, I think Danielle Harris is again one of those bigger characters for this franchise that if they don't, they are missing a huge, huge, huge opportunity.
Hmm. Yep.
Especially
I
because
agree.
she wants to do it. She wants
Hmm.
to do it. So
Absolutely. I agree. I think that it is long overdue. And I'll even go as far as saying it's kind of owed to Danielle, the way they did her, especially in the 6th film. I
Hmm.
think it's, definitely time to bring that character back. But another character I would love to see back with her, and Melissa says it right here, I want Rachel Carruthers back too.
Rachel,
That's right.
I
Kelly
yeah.
want her
Cornell.
back, man. I
Oh,
cannot tell you how disappointed I was in 5 when they did that to her so early.
Hmm.
yes.
Like,
That's
I
right.
could not believe that they did that. I'm like, why? Like, she was so good in 4. Like, why would you do that? Like, you got us
Hmm.
connected, to these two
That's
together.
right. Yep.
She was somewhat, even though obviously Rachel's parents were the foster parents, in so many ways, Rachel felt like Jamie should, like Lori should have in Jamie's life as a
Hmm.
mother figure.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I want to see both of them back. I want to see both of them get their due diligence. And I
Hmm.
think it can happen. Now, real quick before you do head out, Night, I also know that you did that interview with James Dew Courtney and stuff. And I asked him about wanting to come back, to work with Danielle. And I know that he said that, he would most likely be too busy because he's got a lot going on.
Hmm.
However, if he can't do it, how would you feel about Aaron Armstrong, who played Michael in the reenactment of Halloween 78 and Halloween Kills played Michael in that movie? How would you feel about that?
I think that's the smart money because we've seen him do
Yeah.
it and he was
Right.
good in that role. He's a stunt guy. So we know he can just do anything that needs to be done in the role. So he would be
Right.
the smart money to come back. And of course he's
Yeah.
at the age that would work to be Michael at that time. Like it's
Yeah.
listen, if they don't do this, I don't know what to say, man, because it's like it's basically laid right in front of them.
Right.
It's right
Yeah.
there in front of them to do it.
I absolutely agree. And I hope it happens. And I know that a lot of people might not like what I'm about to say, but don't be surprised. Do not be surprised if you see Corey Cunningham back.
You never know, man. You
I,
never know.
don't be surprised. I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. The whole changing shape, they did that on purpose to leave that door open,
Mm.
and we'll have to see, But for me, as a Halloween fan, as a diehard Halloween fan, the best option and the option to go with is getting Danielle back.
Yeah.
And let's get back to this storyline and let's put a feather on this cap, because at the same time, they also teased, at least at the end of Halloween 4, of, Jamie Lloyd possibly being the new Michael Myers.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
So that's something that a lot of fans I know have talked about that would be interesting to see if they can build on that,
Mhm.
and what's her name? Danielle actually said in an interview that if she were to come back, she would still want to have that link to Michael that she had in Halloween 5. And I think that's very fascinating.
Yeah. Totally agreed.
Real quickly, what's going on, Steven? I'm glad that you could stop in tonight, buddy. Craving
What's
something
up?
scary saying, hey, fam, great to see you all. Absolutely.
Good to see you, Steven.
I hope you're having a great night, Steven. Definitely got to get you back here on the channel here soon. Man saying hi to Craven. Melissa saying, I only like Danielle on Halloween 4. Hey, that's okay. You know what I mean? That's fine. And that's understandably so. But I'm not going to lie. I love me some Rachel Carruthers too. You know, she's just a classic good girl, all-American girl, if you want to say that. You know what I mean? She's got a heart of gold. Like, she has personality and toughness, though, too. You know, that's what I like about Rachel, is that she ain't no pushover.
Well, and even again, her character arc going from this, oh, do I have to babysit my, my foster sister, to taking care of Jamie through that, through that whole third act of the movie, and really becoming that loving, caring sister, which made me fall in love with the Rachel character,
Right.
That's right.
Oh, I absolutely love that part when Jamie gets lost and she's like, wherever you are, I have a big dog with me and he bites. And then Rachel just pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
It was. It really was. Like, again, like, I hope they do the right thing. You know, I think that Danielle deserves it. She wants it. Let's make it happen. Now, I will ask this, even though, we're going to talk more about Halloween 4, 5, and 6, in a couple days here. I will ask you this, because I know you got to get going here, Night. Who would you like to see direct this film with Danielle Harris and possibly Ellie Cornell returning?
Wow. Well, that'd be difficult to say. I mean, if it's as long as it's a director that appreciates the stories, the lore, of what's happened before, I mean, I think that was one thing about David Gordon Green that I enjoyed, is that he really was a fan of John Carpenter. He really tried to kind of walk in his universe, so to speak. So as long as it's a director that can do that and doesn't come in thinking, I gotta update this, or I gotta make it this or make it that, or make it more like my style, because these movies have a certain lane you've got to drive in my opinion. So I think as long as they respect Halloween 4 and what's come before it, I think we'll be okay.
Right. Where's your take on that, Val? Who would you like to see direct this new Halloween film if we get Danielle Harris and Ellie Cornell back?
I have to agree with Knight. I'm not one in preferences of directors. Again, as long as they respect the story, I'm good with who does it. I'm never one in big with directors. Just direct it. Give me a good movie. I don't care who does it.
Okay. I will say this on my end: bring the team back. Bring Dwight H. Little if you can get him back, as well as Alan B. McElroy. We know he just did the new updated version of Wrong Turn a couple years ago, so he's still out. He's still out here cooking.
Yep.
Bring him back. There's a lot of ideas that I actually liked that McElroy had that he didn't get to put in the fourth film because, they had to shorten everything down. But I always felt like, watching his interviews, he got it. Like, he understood what this character and what the ambiance was supposed to be about. And if Dwight H. Little would like to do it, and I know the reason why he didn't want to come back for the fifth film is because of studio meddling. If, we can get them to a studio that's not going to meddle, hopefully we can get him back as well. He's still out there cooking as well. He's still out there doing movies. So I think the reason why I would also like them back, well, at least the main reason, is the familiarity. They have familiarity with the cast, with Danielle, with Ellie. So I think that chemistry from before would definitely pay dividends in a future film.
It could. It definitely could. I agree.
I do, man. Like, we'll see. Hopefully it happens. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm going to say for me personally, it'll be another 3 years till we get another Halloween film. Could
That
it be long?
tracks.
Yeah.
Could it be longer? Sure. But I'm giving it 3 years. By 2026, we'll have a new one. And hopefully, we'll have Danielle Harris back in that film as the main character, not as a side character, not playing any bracket, as Jamie Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will ask this real quickly. Now, Knight, do you have to go, my friend, or you still got a couple minutes?
Yeah, I gotta get ready to head on out, unfortunately, guys.
I heard that, buddy. Well, Knight,
Work calls.
I know how that is, man. Well, buddy, I greatly appreciate you hanging out with us here tonight for as long as you could. I'll be in contact with you later on in the week. If you're not busy for next Sunday, we're going to be doing most likely, I want to say H2O and then Rob Zombie's films.
Okay.
So if you'd like to be a part of that, you can definitely be a part of that, and I'll send you the link, and you can come back on the panel, my friend.
Yeah, man. Let me know. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I see Val's face right now, like, oh, man, we're going to talk about zombies.
She's a trooper, though. She's a trooper.
Yes, she is. Absolutely. I know, Val. I'm sorry, but it has to happen. Well, Knight, buddy, I'm going to let you get going. I know you got to work and stuff, but again, friend, thank you for stopping in. It was definitely a great conversation, and we're going to talk soon, man.
Absolutely, man. It was my pleasure. My pleasure.
All right, bro. You have a nice night. Be safe. Have a nice night at work.
All right. Catch you guys later.
All right, buddy.
All right. Bye-bye.
And then there were two of us. That was great, though. I got mad love for Knight. I'm glad he was able to come on even for like an hour and like 20 minutes or whatever. That was a great conversation.
Yes. Well, finally nice to get to do that. Just sit and talk with him like that.
Oh, absolutely.
About Halloween.
Yes, absolutely. Because you already know this, Val. With our schedules and stuff like that, it's difficult, for all of us, to really get together and link up when we can. So when we have these opportunities, we got to strike while the iron's hot.
Right. Yep. I'm at work right now. So.
Right. Yep. See, and that's why you're a trooper, Val. You're at work and you're on a live stream. You're pulling double duty.
Yeah. Usually am.
She said, usually am. I know that's right, Val. Bobby's breakdowns in the chat. What's going on, Bobby? Saying, what's up, y'all? Marcus, we got a link up for a stream. And same with you, Knight. Bobby, check your Instagram. I actually sent you a message last week. If you want to come on the channel here sometime later this week, let me know and I'll put it together and you can come on, buddy, and let me know what time is best for you, whether it be morning, afternoon, or nighttime. I will tell you Fridays and Saturdays is a no-go because I work 12 to 13 hours those days. But Sunday through Thursday, I'm now available. I'm open. I'm free. So let me know, Bobby, and we'll definitely put something together.
All day, Marcus? You're free all day now? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
see, I'm not going to lie to you. It definitely does work out. You know what I mean? Because it gives me more time to do this as well. Mm-hmm. And being that, I have members here, such as yourself, Val, I want to be able to focus and, it's only going to get, I want to say harder, but it's going to get definitely a lot more tedious because now I have members and regular subscribers to pay attention to. So I want to be able to get out as much content as possible. And my job is very supportive and understands that. So we were able to work something out to where it works out for the both of us. You know what I mean? So I still keep my job. I still get a paycheck every week, and that's what counts. My bills get paid. But okay, so let me get back to some of you guys' comments real quick. Hey, what's going on, Brandon?
Hey,
I like Gary in the chat saying, hey guys, what's going on, my friend? We're going to be having Brandon on here for Franchise Omnibus Part 4 through 6. Here, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday. I got to go back and look at what day Brandon said he's good to go. But yeah, we're definitely going to be talking some Halloween 4 through 6 here in a couple days with Brandon. You guys know,
And
much like us, Brandon is huge into Halloween.
congratulations to Brandon on 20K. He hit 20K, dude. Yeah,
Hold
congratulations,
on,
Brandon.
hold on,
Dude,
Brandon.
you keep going.
Just the other day, I seen you were at 16.
Yeah,
Now you're at 20, bro.
yeah.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, bro. You keep it going, man. You deserve it. You know, Brandon, he
Yes,
puts out
he
a lot
does.
of content. He puts
Great
out a lot of
content.
content. So it's good to see, it paying off, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. Because guys, we put our blood, sweat, and tears as best as we can into this. You know what I mean? And that's why I definitely wanted to have more time so I can at least try to drop something every day. You know, it bothers me when I can't drop something every day, even if it's just a short. You know what I mean? If I can't do that, I feel like I'm letting you guys down. So now that I have a lot more time to do that, I'm excited for how I'm going to make my channel grow as well. But Brandon, bro, 20,000 subscribers, my friend. Let's go, bro. And it's only going to keep going up from here, my friend. You deserve it, bro. Like, that's awesome.
He does.
That's right. Okay, so Brandon says Wednesday. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Man, you deserve it, bro.
Yeah.
For real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I will say this. Y'all know this. I'm a huge Halloween fan. You might not know it based on my content because I do a lot of stream content. You know what I mean? Brandon, he does a great job unleashing a lot of Halloween content, and I'm hoping to get to that point as well here on this channel to where I can start dropping some more Halloween content. You know what I mean? Because that is my favorite franchise and stuff. But Brandon definitely does a great job keeping the franchise alive and well. Like he keeps the fire stoked. Love it. That's what's up, Brandon, man. Like, I'm like, yo, man, I'm so happy for you, man. Like, I love seeing this family that we have here of content creators, on YouTube growing, man. Sorry,
Growing.
growing,
All of you guys.
growing. Like,
Yeah.
I love that. Let's go. That is so
All of you
awesome.
guys are. All of you.
Yep. Brandon saying I have to chop it up with Val for sure with some Halloween. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Denisha, congratulating Brandon on 20K. Melissa saying, Brandon, you did it. That's right.
Yeah.
He definitely did. That boy be trucking. I'm telling you, I see it every day, especially when I'm at like work and stuff like that and I can't really post nothing. If I can watch something, Brandon's on. Like, he is live. He's got a video dropping. He's got a post coming out. Like, it's crazy how much content he puts out. But again, he's seeing the fruits of that labor. Hard work pays off, and I'm glad to see it pay off for you, my friend.
Yeah.
That's right, Melissa, saying love all your channels. We're all family here. That's absolutely right. That is so true. Okay, so Val.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything else about the first three Halloween films that you really want to touch on that stand out to you?
No, I think we covered a lot of the stuff that I wanted to talk about, And again, thank you for bringing up that conversation we had about that.
Of course.
Because again, and it just came just from doing research and watching and just thinking about human nature.
Right.
And getting pissed because everybody kept calling him superhuman, or supernatural, or, I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Yes. No, that is a very, very interesting fact that you pointed out. No, he is a human being. And when somebody tells you that you are going to be something so much, most likely you're just gonna mentally shut down and just become that
Right.
monster that they're saying you are. You know,
Especially at the young age that he
yes,
began. Because again, Marcus, think about that. Really, again, killing his sister, absolutely a horrible thing. But is that just pure evil, like Loomis describes him? Not talking, just staring out a window. I look at that as reactions of a child that's like, what the hell did I just do? And what,
remember,
trying to uh, absorb what's going on now, like, oh, there are consequences to my action. So again, not anything that I see as pure evil, you know. So it was just, yeah, and again, because everybody kept calling him, he's supernatural, he's supernatural. No, no.
no, that's a
And
very
again,
good
it
point.
goes really into Marcus, and again, I'll have to send you the little essay I wrote about the mythology and how I interpret the mythology of 78.
Definitely, Val. Definitely send me that because hey, maybe after we're done doing the omnibuses, we can do a separate live stream showcasing that. You know what I mean? I would love to do that.
And again, Marcus, I didn't get to point out one of the things that I really truly love about these movies is that we can all watch it and we can all walk away with a different interpretation of it, and none of it ever really being wrong. It's not wrong
No,
because that's how that movie was wrote. And JJC said that, when he talked about the transfer of power between Corey and
Michael.
right, but that it was really made to be left open for the viewer to interpret that, and I think that's just what makes these movies so awesome, great.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And there's one thing I will say, about Halloween Ends compared to watching it the first few times. I respect it a lot more now than I did. I respect the fact that they tried to get different and didn't want to do nothing repetitive. I respect that fact, and I'm going to save the rest, obviously, from when we get there.
I was
But
saying you'll respect it more after me and you talk about about how we all
Val said, I'm going to make you respect it even more. Hey, you might, you know what I mean? Hey, you know this, Val. I'm always open to a different perspective. You know what I mean? And I will give credit where credit is due on that perspective. And I will express if it makes me feel different about the movie. So nothing's impossible. I've said it before and I'll say it now. I like the Corey Cunningham character. I thought that it was an interesting take, and I liked the guy who played that role. You know what I mean? I just wish that we would have gotten a better ending to Michael and Laurie. That, especially given the promotion and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Or at least you could have killed Michael off in Halloween Kills, and then we did this. I would have liked to actually see Corey introduced earlier in the franchise so we can get that story arc a little bit. Maybe if they would have made him Cameron, or if they just would have introduced him as Allison's boyfriend to begin with. I really would have liked Halloween Ends a lot more in that regard, because then you get the long-term storytelling. So again, I like Corey Cunningham, you know what I mean, and stuff, but we're going to talk about it, Val. We're going to definitely talk about it, and we're going to see if you can change my mind. This is going to be fascinating once we get there. That is going to be fun. Scott Walker asking, out of all the Michael Myers masks, which one would you consider the scariest out of all of them? Val, go for it. That's a good question, Scott. That's a really good question.
Probably 18 and kills are the scariest looking one. Yeah, probably 18 or kills.
Okay.
Masks. And
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. For me, I'd have to say it was the original
yeah,
78 and Halloween Kills, and if tie it with Halloween 18 because of the authenticity to not show his eyes. That, you know what I mean, and just the way the mask was built to look like William Shatner, like that is just, it's amazing how they can do effects and makeup like that. But it's creepy. You know, that original mask is so creepy because it is so plain and it is so bland. But like I said, that darkness around the eyes area is what captures the very essence, in my opinion, of the shape. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
absolutely love that mask. So for me, Scott, it would be a tie between Halloween 78, Halloween 18, and Halloween Kills because Christopher Nelson, he did such a damn good job updating that mask. It looks like the original 78 mask, but
Yes.
updated to a degree because it has gotten older.
Right.
Like, he did such a damn good job with that mask. He did a great job on all three of those masks in Halloween 18 Kills and Ends. Melissa's saying, but Corey can't compete with Myers. I mean, I don't know, Melissa. I mean, he did slam Michael down. Like, I don't know about that. He dumped Michael on his shit, so I don't know. Hey, listen, you know, it's not, in my opinion, what I've come to learn too, it's not about Corey competing with Michael. You know, it's not. It's about Corey in so many ways carrying on the legacy, especially of Michael on Halloween, that evil, that shape, that evil spirit, that evil being that is going to continue terrorizing Haddonfield for years to come.
Oh, I can't wait to get to Talk Ends.
What was that?
I can't wait to Talk Ends, yeah.
That's definitely going to be an interesting conversation. Like, I'm about to say, we're going to definitely get there. So I'd say probably by the time we do get to Halloween Ends might actually be next Sunday if everything goes smoothly and the rest of these streams, you know, get kicked out in the manner and the time frame that I hope to have them. So I'd probably say by next Sunday we're going to be at the trilogy, the newer trilogy anyway.
And I'm really trying to watch the Rob Zombie Halloween. I'm really trying. I just don't know if I can.
Oh, I'm about to say we're going to talk about it. We're not going to watch them. I mean, I know.
No, I know, but I have to watch them because.
Oh yeah.
I literally, the first one, I made it through like maybe a quarter, halfway through, and just turned it off. And I've never watched it again. And
oh wow.
The second one, I spotty kind of saw it was on TV, and I was kind of half-assed paying attention to it.
Right.
So, and I think it too, once I saw what how they turned Loomis into such an ass in that one, I was like, yeah, no.
Right.
So,
I mean, I get he was trying to get different with the Loomis character, but that wasn't the way to go about it.
Yeah. So
definitely, I agree with that, Val. Like, yeah, just
I'm trying.
You know, we're gonna get there, but you know, we can both agree right here, right now. Just Rob Zombie, his style doesn't fit what Halloween is.
No.
It just doesn't. You know, I like Rob Zombie's style in his own type of movies, you know, but for Halloween, nah, it just Yeah, it's
And I
how
wasn't a Rob Zombie fan like at all. I don't
got
like.
you.
And then Night got me to watch a couple of his House of a Thousand Corpses
Right.
and
Devil's
Devil's Rejects.
Rejects.
And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
his style of movies, they were good movies.
Yes.
Just, yeah.
Not Halloween. No, not Halloween. For
Or
sure.
at least for this fan, I know there's a lot of people, Jamie, she loves Rob Zombie's versions. You know, I can't even do what she does and appreciate them for, you know, his, I just, yeah.
No, there is some people that do love Rob Zombie's versions. They like Rob Zombie's versions because they feel Michael's more brutal. They like the fact that he's bigger. They like the fact that we get that story about him, and going to Smith's Grove and that deep intellect into the story.
Troubled
But
childhood.
then you have, people like me and Val who are always going to be ingrained to what the original
Yeah.
being of what Michael is supposed to be in terms of not knowing what he really is.
Right.
So we're going to defer from that. But there's nothing wrong about if you like Rob Zombie's films, good. And the reason why is just like Steven says, if you like the film, good. Why? Because then that means we're going to get more Halloween films at some point.
Right.
It's only helping the cause, whether you
Right.
like the movie or not. It's
Right.
only helping the cause.
Absolutely.
Like, see, like even Melissa will say, I hated Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. Hey, see, you either love them or you hate them.
Right.
It can go both ways, But I will always thank Rob Zombie for trying to contribute to the franchise.
I give him a C+ for effort.
Right. Now, I will ask you this about Mr. Zombie, Val. And I think I already know what your answer is going to be, but I want to ask you anyway because he actually said this after Halloween Ends came out. He said he wants another crack at the Halloween franchise because he felt, and this is one thing I will say that he was consistently saying, even with the remake of Halloween 78 or whatever that he did, was that the studio meddled so much that he feels like he did not get to really tell his vision the way that he tried to interpret it the best way forward. He felt the studio really watered down a lot of what he had planned, which is why we got what we got. And he would love another crack at it. How do you feel about it?
That they watered down what he wanted?
I guess, yeah. Yeah, basically. Like, I guess in terms of storytelling or whatnot, I guess they really was in his shit. According to him.
Okay, I would give him 1 and see what he would do with it.
Right.
Unfortunately, I just see if what we did get was a watered down version of it. Ooh. Then I can only imagine seeing like the Devil's Rejects and that what we would have gotten out of him.
Right. Absolutely. Now, I will point this out as well, is at the time, Halloween was still under the Dimension banner.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So when he does say that, I tend to believe him, even if it's for the better or for the worst. I do believe him because we already know about Dimension and they're meddling with Wes Craven.
Right.
So I definitely do believe him when he says that. But when I just look at his movies and I look at his style,
right,
I can't envision him really writing a solid Halloween film for Michael Myers. I really can't.
Wild, crazy, brutal.
Yeah, and the
Halloween,
thing,
absolutely. And I think if that's what people are looking for, he would be the perfect person to do that.
right? Like the biggest issue I had with his versions of Michael Myers Nothing against Tyler Mane, the actor. He actually did a really good job mimicking
yeah.
Michael's movements, everything. He did a good job. I didn't like the size. He's too big. In my opinion, it's easier. It's easy to be scared of somebody who's 7 feet tall, 300 plus
Right.
pounds.
Right.
It's a lot more menacing, in my opinion, if you keep him his normal size. That makes him scarier.
Right.
And then the whole the grunting and the
Yeah.
just I could not stand that. When I heard that, I'm just like, bro, why? You're basically, I mean, we know in the second one Michael did speak, but you're basically having him speak, when he's
Right.
doing that. And it irked my soul. It's just like, why does he
Right.
have to grunt? Why does he have to grunt like a bear in order when he's to throw somebody?
And I get that it's his interpretation of it. And, so, and I get that's, Jamie says that's why she likes it, or in part why she likes it.
Right.
But it's like, even in taking your own, making your own interpretation, you have to still fit in somewhere to the, OG fans and, all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree with that. Rob it was too grunge house for what a Halloween movie is supposed to be. Entirely too grunge house. And then I like William Forsythe, but some of the dialogue that he was saying to Michael is just like it's cringy.
Cringy. Yeah. But again, that's typical zombie though.
Yeah, that is true.
Is that cringy, foul mouth, brutal, bloody,
grunge house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And that's not for me.
Real quick, Melissa asked, how tall was Nick Castle? If I'm not mistaken, Nick Castle is like 6 feet, 6'1".
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I just met him or whatever, and he's a couple inches taller than me. He's not that much taller, but he's got a couple inches on me.
No, Nick Castle wasn't this big, tall, menacing.
No.
And again,
No.
you're right,
Yeah,
Marcus.
he was about 6 feet, 6'1".
And that's what made him
he was a normal man.
Yeah.
Yep. The fact that he was a normal man who possessed these otherworldly abilities to take punishment and keep going forward. It's crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what's scary. And as well, because he's, again, a normal sized guy. You know what I mean? That's what makes the essence of Michael Myers scary. You know what I mean? He's just like one of us, same size, build, and all that. But he possesses the strength and power of somebody who could be the size of Tyler Mane.
Right.
That's what makes his character so cool, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I like the fact that he's my size and he has those capabilities. It's scary and it's cool, all in the same.
Yep. But Marcus, I need to head home.
I heard that. All right, Val. I'm actually going to stay on probably for like another 10 minutes and stuff like that. Just, go over the 2-hour mark just a little bit. But Val, I greatly appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
I'm about to say you're going to be on Wednesday too, right? Because I got you pegged. I got you pegged for the entire franchise, Val.
Yeah, I'm the only one.
All right, cool. So we're definitely going to link up on Wednesday, and of course, we're going to talk before then and all that stuff. But Val, you enjoy the rest of your night. Get home safely, and it was great talking to you.
Yes, thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Yep. See you, Val. Okay, everybody. So I'm going to stay on the stream for like another 10 minutes, go over the 2-hour mark. So any questions you guys want to ask me about Halloween, fire away. I'm all here for it. As well as anything else real quick or whatever, because I will say, I will plug this in. I do have some shorts as well as another Scream video that's about to drop. I also have another Halloween video that's in the works. I will be talking about some Freddy Krueger as well, as we got the news a couple days ago that Robert Englund will not be returning for the Nightmare on Elm Street Legacy sequel. That was expected, at least in my opinion, and I'm gonna touch on that and do a little deep dive digging into that as well. Definitely a lot of catching up that I'm going to be doing this week, because you guys know last week I was in Texas for the weekend, and this past week, like, I just was doing a couple live streams recapping Texas Frightmare, did a Silver Bullet live watch party, was just trying to get some content out there for you guys, being that I was a little bit behind. But this week we are definitely going to be caught up, and I'm very excited that I'm going to be having this extra time to be posting a lot more content for you guys, because I'm definitely trying to grow this channel as best as I can, and I love what I do. So now that I'm going to have more time, I'm going to be giving you guys more of me. So this is definitely going to be a fun journey, an even funner journey than what it has already been. I got some ideas for some live streams and all that good stuff. We're going to have a great time here this summer. You know what I mean? Leading into fall and just, the rest of the year. I'm trying to get some interviews here on the channel. I reached out to Tom Jones Jr. Fingers crossed he gets a hold of me. I know sometimes these things, do take time. Sometimes they won't get back to you for a couple months if they're booked, if they're busy. So hopefully, I will hear something back soon. I'm also going to be reaching out to other actors within the franchise. I would love to get Danielle Harris here on the channel. I would like to reach out to her as well. So hopefully, some of these ideas for interviews that I have come to fruition, and I'm hopeful that they will. I just got to, keep up on everything. And now that I have more time, I'm going to be able to do that. As well as my members who are here in the chat, such as the Blood Rose Horror Nightmare, as well as Val Janowski, who just left us here. I am going to be having some members-only content coming here within the week as well. So keep an eye out for the community tabs and for the updates, and you guys will obviously find out what I have cooking for us in terms of members-only content. Scott Walker says, Marcus, can you please answer my question in Scream 1? When Sydney got home from school, how did Stu get her house before her, or did he sneak into the house when she was asleep? I think you could make an argument for both. I will say that I think that the way he sneaked in was probably through her bedroom window, like Billy Loomis does. It could have been before she, got home from school. It could have been after she got home while she was sleeping. Either one of those, I think you can go in those directions. I'm not against either one of those theories. I definitely do think how he got in the house was the same way that Billy got in the house. Billy probably told him her upstairs bedroom window is always open. So, Stu could have climbed through the window then as well. It's a good question, though, Scott. And to touch on Nanette's comment from a little bit ago, she said, I hated Malcolm McDowell as Dr. Loomis. I mean, I don't hate him. I don't like the way his character was portrayed. I respect him for trying to get different with the Loomis character. He was definitely a departure from what we're used to, but I didn't like it. I did not like the fact that they made Loomis really try to, profit off of Michael and his family's pain. I didn't like that at all. I thought that was kind of low budget, low ball. That's not what the original Dr. Loomis character embodied by any stretch of the imagination. But I always say this, guys, we tell these creators, oh, they got to get different. So when they get different, there's going to be a chance you might not like the difference that they bring to a certain character or to a certain film. It can go both ways. You might like it, you might not. So, me personally, I did not like Dr. Loomis and Rob Zombie's versions. I like Malcolm McDowell, the actor. I think he's an incredible actor. I just think he was miscast in that role. He was he wasn't given the best role in the world playing this version of Dr. Loomis, who was you know, kind of like this, crappy figure who just was worried about money and wasn't worried about actually helping Michael Myers at all. I agree. I agree, Nanette. No, he was really, especially in Halloween 2, he was a jackass. He really was. He was not a nice guy by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, I know, Melissa. Did I call her another name? If I did, I'm so sorry, Nanette. I didn't even catch it if I did make that mistake. But yeah, I didn't like Loomis neither though, in Rob Zombie's versions. But like I was saying earlier, um, I would love, not only Danielle Harris to return to the Halloween franchise, I would absolutely love Josh Hartnett to return. I think there's a way you can do it. I think there's a way you can make both him and Danielle be in the same film. I've actually talked about it in my 6 Ways Back to Haddonfield video that I did after Halloween Ends came out. So if you guys haven't checked that video out, check out my collage of videos here on the channel, and you'll see the thumbnail that says 6 Ways to Halloween. 6 Ways to Halloween, 6 Ways Back to Haddonfield. And check out that video and let me know what you guys think if you haven't already. But I would absolutely love to see Josh Hartnett reprise his role as John Tate in the Halloween franchise. I think he is such a great actor. I'm a big fan. And plus, that was, around my time. Halloween H2O came out when I was turning 9, or I just turned 9 years old. So, in terms of being a young man and Josh Hartnett at that time being a younger actor, he was definitely an actor that I really gravitated towards, not just in Halloween and other movies that he did. 40 Days a Night, 40 Days and 40 Nights, that comedy that he did. 30 Days of Night, the vampire movie he did, Saving Private Ryan. Josh Hartnett is a great actor. The Faculty, how can I almost forget about that underrated classic? Josh Hartnett is a great actor, and he's definitely has some banging ass movies. So if we can get his character as John Tate back in the Halloween franchise, I'd be super hyped for it. I'd be just as hyped for that as Danielle Harris's return as Jamie Lloyd. Katie's saying, Marcus, did you get the message I sent to you on Friday? I haven't got to look at that message yet, but I can look at it right now, Katie, while I have my computer here loaded up. It's another thing that I am going to be doing a lot better at now that I have more time, is keeping up with my social media accounts and all that stuff. And guys, keep an eye out for the community tab. I'm going to be sharing my new Twitter link as well as my TikTok link. I've created a TikTok, so you guys can definitely go check it out there. When I leave the link, I'll be posting some content to those sites as well. I'm definitely going to be posting more stuff to Instagram. I actually want to run a 1-hour live stream weekly on Instagram, so I'm trying to put that together. Okay, so let me see what you said, Katie, because I know tomorrow, Katie, about your about the Creators Corner that we talked about me coming on. Okay, yes. Okay, about the GNC stuff. Okay, thank you, Katie. Thank you so much for that. Yes, definitely going to be checking that stuff out because yeah, I was telling Katie, I'm actually trying to get in better shape, physically and stuff like that. So Katie, as a manager at a GNC, she was kind enough to share some tips with me about what to use from there, what type of dieting, to go on and stuff like that, certain foods and all that stuff, like the whole shebang. So thank you again, Katie, for sending that. And I'm looking at it now. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be getting on the ball with this whole workout regimen stuff. I need to. Mm. And that saying I was 16 when H2O came out. Yeah, young buck status. We were young bucks then, Nanette. Now we're getting up there. Great times though. Absolutely miss those times. Going to the theater and seeing it, like that's the best. I still, as an adult, really enjoy going out to the movie theaters to watch a movie. I know streaming is more convenient, especially if you don't want to spend the extra money going out to the movie theater. But in my opinion, going to the movie theater is just such a nostalgia feel that you just have to do it. I don't feel like a movie can be viewed the same unless you've seen it on the big screen. That's just my opinion, though. Katie asking what time works best for you. Anywhere between 7 and 9, Katie, I'm good. Just let me know. I'm free all day tomorrow. I'm just going to be uploading a bunch of shorts and a bunch of videos. Tuesday, I will be back live streaming here on my channel for an episode of the podcast. Nanette asking, Marcus, when can I come back on? That's a good question. I'll have to see what I have cooking up here, Nanette. Because I know there's a couple others that has been asking the same thing that hasn't either been on the channel yet or hasn't been on the channel in a while. So I'm trying to fit everybody in. I will say that I am I'm going to be doing a live stream talking about Monster Mania 55 in Jersey. Kiefer Sutherland's going to be there and all that stuff. So if you would want to participate in that, then if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, I think you are a really big fan of the Lost Boys. So if I'm wrong, let me know, but I'd like to think that you are. Excuse me. Katie said, I was 13 when H2O came out. Nice. And we were all some young bucks then. Great memories. Really good memories. Love it. You'll make me want to watch H2O now. Hey, what's going on, Dino? Thank you for stopping in, my friend. Dino, another channel member here, another cast and crew channel member. And just like I was saying a couple minutes ago, Dino, I'm definitely keeping an eye out for the community post because I'm going to be having some members-only content coming you guys' way here in the coming days. Scott saying, I was 6 years old when H2O came out. Nice. Nice, man. Well, now I don't feel like the baby anymore out of the bunch that, has been talking about this because you're 3 years younger than me, Scott. Okay, Katie, yeah, 8 p.m. works perfectly. That's perfect. Okay, so Katie, she also asked about 9. 8 or 9 is fine with me, Katie. You pick which one. Which one works best for you? Right? Right? Actually, I'm holding off on all Halloween watch parties until October because in October, I basically want to do like a marathon, like covering the first 7 films in one day and then covering the other 6 films another day. I know that that's like what? If we're doing 7 films in one day, that's close to 14 hours worth of content, meaning I'd probably be starting at 6 in the morning. You know what I mean? Just because, that would make sense. Or 14 hours, so maybe start at 10 a.m. and then end the stream. Try to end the stream by 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. the next morning. Be that as it may, around Halloween time, I'm going to be doing Halloween marathons that month, watch party. So kind of just stick with tradition, you know what I mean? But the way I'm going to do it, like I said, is we're going to marathon it. 6-7 films the first day, and then the other 6, maybe another day or another week, whatever. I'll definitely play it by ear when it comes, around that time, and let you guys know how I'm going to be planning on putting that together. But I know for a fact that I'm going to be doing 6 or 7 films in one day. Yep, that's what I thought, Nanette. Nanette saying, I definitely want to be on it, Marcus, and you are right. I love The Lost Boys. As a matter of fact, it's my favorite vampire movie. It's my favorite horror movie. Yes, that is what I thought. I could have sworn I was right on that. Definitely could have sworn I was right on that. I'm glad that I was. Hey, what's going on, Ryan? XV Ryan in the chat saying, what up, what up? You're actually catching me on the tail end, my friend. I'm actually about to close it up here within the next 5 minutes or whatnot. But thank you for stopping in. Ryan, another channel member here. He is actually a killer level channel member here. So Ryan, just like I said to Dino, keep an eye out for your community tabs here on the channel, because I'm actually going to be having some members only content coming out within the coming days for you guys to to take a look at. Actually, I'll even say this, Ryan, being that you are a killer level membership here on the channel, you are actually going to be getting exclusive early access to my latest stream video that I'm going to be dropping tonight. So again, keep an eye out for the community post, my friend. Philip Morgan saying, I would have been 5 when H2O came out. Man, so that means now you're the baby, Philip. I like how the age groups are just going down. You know what I mean? Going down in order. That's funny. That is so great. Gotta love it. Katie saying 9 p.m. works best for me. I will make a thumbnail. Nice. All right, cool. Great. Sounds good, Katie. I will see you tomorrow at 9. Hey, what's going on, Michael? Michael from Movies and Beyond saying, I heard y'all was talking about some Mikey Myers over here. We were. We're basically winding down now. Knight had to go, and then Val had to go as well. But fret not, we're going to be doing Halloween's 4 through 6 on Wednesday. So we're going to be continuing the Omnibus on Wednesday, and I'm going to have Val back on, as well as Brandon from I Like Scary. And I'm hoping, and I'm going to send him out the message tonight, and I'm pretty sure that he will be down for it as long as he's back from vacation and he has time. But Bob from Hunting for Entertainment, I'm also going to try to have him here on the panel as well, because I know my good buddy Bob is a massive fan of Danielle Harris, and Halloween 4 is his favorite Halloween film. So I would definitely love to have Bob here on the channel for that conversation. Scott Walker says, when I get the money, Marcus, I'm going to build my own version of the story house, or I think he means of the stew house, and is exactly the same as the original stew house. Okay, yeah. Hey, go for it, man. Do whatever makes you happy. Hey, thank you for stopping in, and I greatly appreciate you hanging out. And don't worry, I will actually stop in your live chat and show you some love and drop you a like. Annette saying, Marcus, I need to go. I have 12 minutes until my live stream tonight. Yeah, I'll definitely stop by for a second, Annette, and check you out. I still got some work here that needs to be done in terms of shorts and videos that I want to get out. And Katie's saying, good night and sweet dreams, my friends. I guess Katie is heading out for the night. Katie, you enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you on Creators Corner tomorrow. And real quickly, everyone, I will let you guys know, and I'm sure you guys obviously have been seeing me and hearing me and Katie politic here over the last few minutes. Tomorrow, come over to Popping the Popcorn's channel, that is Katie's channel, and check me out at 9 p.m. I want to say Katie's on the East Coast. Let me know if I'm right about that, Katie. But at 9 p.m. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be on Katie's channel for Creators Corner. That is basically a segment that she has created on her channel where she talks to content creators and basically, just has a great conversation with them. What's their passions behind what they do? What projects they got coming up? Where is their accomplishments? What are they trying to accomplish with their channel? All types of stuff. If you guys watch Creators Corner tonight with her in the Night Watch Zone, then you will get a gist of what that conversation is going to be like on my end as well. I'm glad you made it home safely, Val. And again, thank you for participating in tonight's stream with me. And I can't wait to talk some more Halloween franchise omnibus with you and Brandon on Wednesday. Of course, Val. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anytime. You are welcome here on the channel. The General, Val Janowski. Love having you on, Val. Love your opinions and just love talking to you. You're a great person, Val. It's always good having a conversation with you, honestly. Val is on our ass. I know that's right. Val saying you have got to have Michael from Movies and Beyond on the panel for Halloween Ends. I need to talk to him too about that one. LOL. Absolutely. Well, Michael, you heard it here, my friend. When we get to the last part of the Halloween Omnibus, obviously Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends, if you happen to be available for Halloween Ends or all three of those live streams, if you would like to come on, you could definitely participate in that and, conversate with us, my friend, about Halloween Ends, specifically from Val. Hey, thank you, Castellar. Glad to see you here in the chat. I am about to wrap the stream up, but it's nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a little bit. Castellar Daniel Garcia saying, here to show some love to Halloween 1 and Halloween 4. I know that's right. Well, my friend, Wednesday night, I want to say around 7:30, I'm going to have the stream up tonight or whatnot. And I think Brandon from I Like Scary said he's going to be, I want to say 7:30 or 8:30 is best available for him. I got to go recheck my messages and see exactly what time. But in between those times, we are going to be doing part 2 of the Halloween franchise omnibus, films 4 through 6. So Castellar, if you're not busy and you want to hang out, definitely come check us out on Wednesday night. Isn't it, Dino? I absolutely love it. Katie's creative, man. She's another content creator who needs more love. You know what I mean? She definitely deserves more love. She is very, very creative. I absolutely love that segment name. Melissa asking, what is the next channel? The next channel is the Blood Rose Horror Nightmare. Okay, say less. Say less, Michael. We'll definitely put it together, and you can be on for the entire David Gordon Green trilogy, my friend. But okay, everyone, that is going to be a wrap for tonight. I greatly appreciate everybody who stopped in and hung out with us here tonight. This was definitely a lot of fun. And stay posted for the community posts. Like I said, I will be having some notifications on future live streams. But keep in mind, Wednesday night, around 7:30, 8:30, again, I will have it posted. Come back here for Halloween franchise omnibus part 2, films 4 through 6. So if you're a Halloween fan of the entire franchise, even if you don't like some of the sequels that we have gotten in the franchise, definitely tune in. It's going to be a fun conversation as it was tonight. Definitely was a fun conversation tonight, and I'm really looking forward to Wednesday night's conversation with Val and Brandon from I Like Scary, as well as hopefully Bob from Hunting for Entertainment. But okay, everyone, I hope you all have a safe and great night. Everybody enjoy the rest of your night and get some rest. I know some of you might have to work in the morning, and I'm going to catch you guys later. Once again, this is I Shot Him 6 Times, YouTube Horror Movie Channel. As you know, I'm your host and creator of the channel, Marcus. I will catch you guys later.